Okay, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. What's today? Today's Wednesday, and I can't work today. I'm waiting on the septic people to come. I took a shower last night, and the shower was having a hard time. The water wasn't draining very fast, right? So, yeah, we got something going on with the septic. I'm not sure exactly what it is, and they just pulled up, man. So like I was saying, when the septic people just pulled up, I need to go on and do the full septic everything. Yesterday I did sell that firewood. I got $460 for that firewood that me and Phil loaded up. Well, I had to do some stuff though. I had to pull some of those great big pieces off and split them. And I don't have a log splitter. So that was, a little bit of a, well, that was some work, to be honest, because they were so big. I'd hit them with a mallet and it wouldn't do nothing. Then I'd use a skid bucket and just bang down on the mallet. And I ended up busting them. I ended up spending about 2 hours though. And then I broke the mallet. So then after that, I used my big chainsaw and I was ripping them with the chainsaw. So got that money. Not a lot of money. I knew I wasn't gonna make no money on that deal. By the time I paid Phil and everything, I knew that I wasn't gonna make nothing. I mean, I made about $300. And if I take that $300 and go to the club, well, then that's nothing. But if I take that $300 and I'm strategic with it, i.e., fill this truck up with fuel, fill the skid up with fuel. I appreciate all the views, and I know you guys have been probably getting a kick out of me and what's his name going back and forth. He can do whatever he wants to do. It doesn't no matter how many times you get up in front of the chalkboard and do all that mumbo jumbo, it doesn't change anything. I mean, it doesn't. And sometimes a lot of that information is skewed. And with him, it's always skewed in his favor. He's never going to talk about taking a hit. And that's why people don't gravitate toward him, because he doesn't really keep it 100% real. He lies by omission. He says his average ticket price is, $19.83 or whatever that number was. And I know I talked about it the other day, but there's so many things that you can derive from that. Okay, what's your average ticket price after you factor in January, February, March, and September and October? See, my average ticket price for a day, okay, well, my average ticket price for the scope of time that is 1 week or 2 weeks or 30 days, my average ticket is 19 whatever, right? But what happens to that average? I mean, you can make it look good if the time period is short enough. I mean, some of you guys that do Christmas lights, and again, I'm not coming down on you guys, man. I respect the hustle, man. That's a hustle. And hey, get it, But my untrained brain, and I'll say it, I'm trying to learn here. My untrained brain tells me that it's extremely seasonal. That there's probably maybe a 60-day window. You guys let me know if I'm wrong. I don't know. So for 60 days, his average ticket price is $19.83 or whatever. that's his average ticket price. But it's only for 60 days tops. But he doesn't say that. See, that's what bothers me about Jay. He omits all the stuff that can skew his numbers against what he's saying. If we look at a good week of my work, right? We'll just use, if we look at a good week, I can say my average ticket item is, $1,800. But if you're not explaining that the time span is a week, you're misled. And that's what he does. He misleads by omission. That's the thing. He lies by omission is what he does. It's all good. But why didn't he say, during the Christmas lights, which is blah blah days, 60 days or so is what I would imagine. I don't see many people doing Christmas lights, for Christmas, in October, and I don't really see them doing Christmas lights December 15th either. I guess, some people would. But I would say right now is probably about the best timing to get the Christmas light money. Right now, between now and, say, the 10th. And I'm just guessing. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. You guys that do Christmas lights, y'all tell me. I'm just applying common sense. And I got a whole heap of that. This guy doesn't have any common sense. Well, why didn't he have common sense, Ray? Because it ain't that he doesn't have common sense. He doesn't have life experience. And our common sense is derived from our experiences in life. And if he wants to, come on YouTube and fudge the numbers. I don't even know if he's really even fudging the numbers. He's just not, being specific enough about the time frame. So it's very misleading. My average ticket item is $1,983 for a week. Then what? Then it's zero? What? Do you know what a zero does to an average? I don't know. And maybe he just doesn't know how to. I don't know. What do I know? What could I possibly know? He calls me a failure. Well, that's about perspective, right? In his eyes, I might be a failure. But what does he know? He has no idea how hard it is out here to really grow. He thinks he knows, but he really doesn't. How could he? And that's what I'm saying. When you listen to Brian's Lawn Maintenance and even Keith Kelfis, which I know those guys have been doing this a long time, and I know those guys have the crispy clean personality for YouTube, and they're showing, especially Brian. Brian is he's showing from the work that he's done, the years that he's been doing the lawn maintenance, and then the years that he's been doing the YouTube, and his tutorials are coming from a place of a lot of experience. Not that I agree with everything, but he's got a lot of experience with the business, which is critical to doing, videos about the business. Jay doesn't know anything about the business, really. Then he wants to come on YouTube and call, the landscape lawn care community on YouTube trash, broke, I mean, do you really think that I'm broke? I mean, there's no sense in all that. I'd say he's broker than all of us, if you ask me. Well, I don't really like to listen to guys that really don't have any experience. And you always watch people and don't listen to what they say. I mean, you can listen to what they say in context, but you got to know that their actions, if their actions don't show what they're talking about, right? I'm just looking at actions. I mean, we can say anything. I can say my average ticket item is $4,000. So the average for that week, I did one job and it was $4,000. So that's my average. That's my average. But if you break it down where I'm only doing one job every 3 weeks, even though that average ticket item is high, am I making something? If it takes me 2 weeks to make $4,000, then I'm not making nothing. But I'm not saying that in my tutorial, my master class. I done forgot more of that shit than he knows. He doesn't think that. He thinks that I don't know anything about supply and demand, marketing strategy, what it costs to get a customer, what it costs for me to run, and what it costs to do this or that. I know all those things. And I also know the intangibles, the shit that can happen. The down mowers, the down trailers, the $2,000 I got to pay the mechanic for the radiator and the water pump in this truck. See, I know these things. Again, if you make $46,000 in a month doing Christmas lights, that's great money because there's no overhead. If that's what you did, and I can't prove he did or didn't, and I'm not really that infatuated with it, really, because I'm looking at his actions. I don't see you figure if I think he said 46,000 and he had like 20 something thousand or so, or 18,000, something like that in expenses or whatever. Not even that much, I don't think. I can't remember. Because when I'm listening to him, I'm thinking about all the things he's not saying. He thinks that he can sell. He thinks he's a great salesman. See, I don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that because he's not informed enough about, this kind of work. You got to be informed about what you're selling. And then one thing that he did finally explain after much prompting is he explained that the Christmas lights are his. I like that because you can buy top of the line lights and they can last for years. Just take them down, put them up, take them down, put them up, take them down, put them up. I mean, I wish I had known that people would be willing to pay that kind of money for Christmas lights when I was younger. I might have got into that. Ray, you got a man lift and everything, dude. You can get into that right now. Nah. My man lift is not designed for that. I'm not saying I couldn't use it for that. I could, but it would be a long, drawn out thing. But you're making money. I know. But I don't know nothing about Christmas lights. And yeah, Jim, I'm the first to say I don't know nothing about Christmas lights. At least I can come on here and say that. Jay's not coming on here and saying, I don't know nothing about landscaping. I don't know nothing about really anything about lawn maintenance. You'll never hear him say that. I'll say, hey, I don't know nothing about Christmas lights, but I got common sense, and I know what the customers that I have, not saying they're good or bad, that I know that out of the 110 lawns that I do, there might be 3 that do Christmas lights. And I know them personally, and I know that they're not paying no $2,000 for Christmas lights in my area. But then, you know, Jay, this not even been in business a year in this game, right? He's gonna give me some pointers on what I should do. You need to just market skid steer work, right? Just market skid steer work. Take all your money and throw it. What Jay does not understand, and what I can't seem to get his immature brain to wrap around, is, let me try to put this in a nice way. Number one, I don't think like a 30-year-old. So I don't want to be bidding on jobs. I got 3 jobs that I bid on that I'm waiting on them to tell me when. They even agreed to the money, and I'm waiting. But everything that I got in, you know, I had to go look at those jobs. Jay doesn't understand about, as you get older, how your time becomes more valuable, whether you're getting paid for it or not. It becomes more valuable to me, right? Being in control of things around me becomes more valuable to me. Yeah, but you're not making money that way. But you are. You just don't have a lot going out, so you don't have to make a boatload coming in. We all want to make a lot of money, right? But how are we going to spend our time to get there? That's the thing. And see, I've learned, well, just in the last 10 years or so, that my time, how I spend my time, and what I do with my time, and management of my time is extremely important to me, whether I'm making money or not. He doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand that that marketing hardcore skid steer money, taking $2,000 out of 20 and throwing it to marketing for the skid jobs, that well, number one, you got to go look at the jobs. Well, he thinks he's going to charge for that. People don't pay for that. They don't. Not here. Everybody does free estimates around here. Now, I don't know. Maybe I just don't know what I don't know. But everybody around here, everybody on Nextdoor, Facebook, everywhere, everybody gives free estimates. Everybody does. So you're not going to be able to go and charge $200 for an estimate. And they're not going to even, you're that $2,000 that you spend on marketing, you're giving it away, because you're not even going to be able to look at the jobs. See, Jay doesn't understand that, because when you start doing skid jobs, it's a little bit different than the very extremely seasonal Christmas lights, and it's a lot different than lawn maintenance, because there's a lot of things, little things that you got to think about. Well, the number one thing is you got to manage acquiring the machine. Critical. Christmas lights, well, you do it in a pickup truck, right? You don't even need a pickup truck. You can do it in a fucking Honda Civic. You know, so it doesn't take any overhead. That's great. That's a great formula for a highly profitable business. But you can't compare that to skid work and think that the same marketing strategy applies, because it doesn't. You can give an estimate on Christmas lights over the phone based on the county site, Google Maps, and Google Earth, and Bing and all that. I can tell you how many. I could go online and tell you how many linear feet of lights that I would want on my house. You're not going to do that on a skid job. You're not. Not to mention that everywhere you go pulling a skid, it's costing you. Oh, what about a trailer? You know, I just spent $11,500 on a trailer. And I didn't, you know, I got a good trailer, but I didn't get no freaking top of the top trailer. Top trailers in that class, 15 grand. You don't have to have that for Christmas lights. So somewhere along the way of me being a failure out here, and for somewhere along the way of me not making shit and being broke, according to him, I've somehow, some way accumulated all this stuff that makes money. I mean, I'll show it. The point I'm trying to make is he's always comparing what he's doing to what somebody like me's doing. And it's not even close to the same. I don't want to throw $2 grand and hope I get jobs for the skid. Because I mean, we're in the off season and I'm keeping the skid pretty busy. Doing pretty good with it. Yeah, but Ray, if you spent $2,000 more on marketing, you do a lot better. Maybe so. Maybe not. I mean, that's a factor. But the main thing is I would be having to spend my time not like I want to. And see, Jay can't understand that because he's desperate for money all the time because he's starting out and he's, you know, I don't want to, for lack of a better term, he's not established. He's starving. I'm not starving. I shouldn't be. I've been doing it a long time. I guess you could even say he's hungry. See, I'm not hungry. I'm consistent. That's what I am. I do what I have to do. I make money damn near every day, and I live a great life. And I got money in the bank. I got money for a septic system, or not. I got money to pay for everything that I want to do in life. Is it going to create some type of generational wealth? No. But if you're a dreamer and not really a doer, you're not going to create generational wealth that way either. You got to be kind of lucky and hardworking and all of that to create generational wealth. But in Jay's eyes, because he doesn't like Ray. And I would even say he hates on me a little bit, well, a lot, because I'm talking all that smack and I'm showing, and I have the creds to back it up, and he doesn't. So he's going to bash my method and my method of doing things until the cows come home. But that doesn't change anything for me. I don't really care nothing about what other people are doing. It doesn't matter, because I'm secure in who I am, what I am, and where I am and where I'm going, to where I don't need an approval from a 30-year-old. Are some of his ideas good? Well, I mean, squirrel will get a nut every now and then, no matter what. But all of his stuff, if you look back at his videos from, excuse me, if you look back at his videos from, June or May or whatever of last year, he was gonna take over the world. And I was telling him, yeah, man, you could do all that, but it's probably not going to happen as fast as you think. Well, I'm picking up 5 customers a day. In the spring, a freaking 10-year-old can pick up 5 customers a day. But he soon realized that wasn't the case. That, yeah, he capped out at about 25 customers, and that was it. Of course, I know he'll tell me it's 35 or 40 customers, but I'm talking about on the lawn maintenance. And what I'm trying to say, and what I was trying to tell him back then, it ain't as easy as it is in the spring. Number one, everybody's looking for somebody to cut their lawn, and everybody's looking for a deal. And then it gets hot out here. And then things can happen too that's out of your control. And I'm telling him all these things. So then, fast forward 60 days later from, April, May to maybe July, about the time it starts getting hot, about the time the customers really quit calling, most everybody's normally got somebody by then. And by the time you realize some of the jobs you're doing, you're not making nothing and all that. That's when he came back on YouTube, flipped the whole script. Yeah, y'all, I had to redirect or pivot or whatever you want to call it. But he didn't say, yeah, them old timers was right. It ain't as easy as I thought to be consistent. I'd rather make a little money consistently, right, and build up to the bigger money than to come in and make big money or bigger money and then be out of business in 2 years. Because contrary to what he says, he thinks, and he really believes this, he thinks that there's an infinite amount of customers. Well, from his brain, I guess he's counting the people in the United States. I guess there is, but I'm not traveling to California to do an $80 lawn. So you don't have an infinite amount of customers. There's only so many customers that's going to fall in line with where I need them to be geographically, where I need them to pay me financially. There's only so many customers that are on the same routes that I'm already doing. That makes sense. There's only so many customers for that. And if you alienating them over $5 and $10, well, now you look up and you're super inefficient, because you were doing 5 on a street and now you're doing 2. And so the 2 that you're doing, you're not doing the other 3 that are right next door. You're having to travel another 12 miles somewhere else and do 1, and then 5 miles somewhere else and do another one, and then 3 miles somewhere else and do another one, which is taking you a whole another hour and a half. And that's costing you more than your upcharge. Well, don't take them, Ray, if they ain't right. So now you're not being efficient, because you done alienated the customers that are in your wheelhouse of the work that you're already doing. You got to branch on the work that you're already doing in the lawn maintenance. But a rookie don't understand that. Why? Because a rookie is so desperate for money, because he hasn't figured out how to manage things yet. He hasn't gotten the equipment down pat yet. He hasn't gotten the right trailer, the truck, blah, blah, blah. He's just thinking about $5 more, $10 more, but he don't realize it's costing him $25 to do it. Or $30 to do it, plus an hour more of time. That's just how I think. And I'm not saying that some of his ideas are bad, but they're not tried and true. There's no proof of concept. He hasn't done it yet. So he pivoted in July last year, talking about, oh yeah, well I'm gonna have to, yeah, things, yeah, but he didn't say it like that. You know, he didn't say them old timers was right when that's exactly what me and, you know, I'm not going to say anybody else, but that's exactly what me and some of the other guys were telling him when he was all cocky and shit in April and May. He comes off as extremely disrespectful because he doesn't understand what he doesn't understand, and he doesn't know that. And that is a form of narcissism. He thinks he knows everything. Well, Ray, you think you know everything. But I don't. I don't think I know everything. I know everything about the equipment that I own, the customers that I have, and I know everything about my route density, and I know everything about the things that are that I'm doing. I got to. I definitely know more about all this than he does. Not that I'm trying to compare, but he's trying to compare himself to a guy like me. And see, to me, that's a joke. But to hear him tell it, he make more money than me. He does better marketing than me. And that's what he says, you know. See, these guys just made $700 something and they're leaving. They're done. Can you believe that shit? Tell you what, the doo-doo game pays good. They just made about $700 since I've been started this video. That sounds like the damn Christmas light game, don't it? The only thing is they got a lot of overhead. Get a check for these guys.